My name's Wynn Fricke. I direct the theater and dance program here. As a beginning choreographer, I worked with mostly my own body, and that way you can really dig in and you have the time to figure things out. But when I started bringing other bodies into the space, everything came out of my body, really, like, the vision and the feelings, and how my body articulated itself. I tried to put on the dancers, and I would work with dancers with whom I resonated. So that was it was a good strategy. But you've worked with me that now it's so much more comfortable and more interesting to me to really collaborate with the dancers in this space, and it makes me particular about who's in the space with me, because they have to really be willing to go on that journey. But if the dancers themselves are exploring ideas physically, they're working with their own imaginations, with their own tensions, their own stuff, layers come into the final piece that I could never have conceived of kind of in my own insular world. So for me, it just has lent breadth to the work, to really include all those voices. At the same time, being anchored in what I'm after or what I'm feeling, like what I'm exploring. So it's not like it diffuses the idea. It just, I would say, just enriches and focuses it both, if that makes sense. Yeah, the dance I'm working on now originally was conceived of. I was asked by Sally Roos, who is a kind of prima ballerina in town, and she wanted me to make a piece for her for this show coming up in 2018, and she sent me this beautiful piece of music by David Lang, and he's one of my favorite composers, really spare, really clean, and felt, just, yeah, I think he's stunning. And the words of this particular piece of music, were just inspiring to me. And the piece I had been planning to do at the same time at Macalester started to fall away in my mind, because this other piece, that Sally was introducing, this kind of idea that she had, was emerging as powerful and interesting. So I decided to also explore it as a group ensemble, at Macalester, and work with dying and that mystery in that moment. And the piece of music is a kind of a riff. The lyrics are a riff from the Song of Songs, which I think is a biblical reference. I'm not sure, but and it's really body based. All the words are they're very simple, but it's just kind of just your hand, just your oils, just your hair, just your, and just sort of anchored in the life and the experience of the body, and what is the death of the body, what is that? And this element of water, which is interesting. I was in a piece by B.B. Miller years and years ago, and she had these barrels of water, and it was just a beautiful piece. It was called Sanctuary. We were just kind of this community of women working, and but at the end of the piece, there was this sort of wouldn't call it ecstatic, but this throwing our head into the bucket of water and flinging our heads back, and the water kind of would shoot across the stage. And it was, I thought, there's like a whole piece just in that gesture for me. So that was the memorable part of that piece, and I wanted to build around that. I wanted to kind of tell that story, which in her dance was just a moment, but I felt, well, like, with the death of the body and rituals that aren't too common in this culture, washing the body, and so there was just a lot in that for me, and connecting the dots are all kind of finding their way into this new piece.